Welcome to Sea Rock's Coastal Creations, where today we are going to smash some glass to make some art. Now let's dive in. Hi, and welcome, Sea Rockers. Today we're going to be upcycling this sign from my hallway. Because we're not awesome anymore, I needed to do something with it. And so I decided I'm going to make some art on it. So I'm going to sand it and just get things a little smoothed out and see if I can get some of those black things off, but I can't. So next is going to be, I'm hoping a couple layers of gesso just to get that all primed up and toned down. And let me know in the comments if you've ever taken something from your house or your walls and upcycle it into something else that works better for you. Now our board is ready, primed on both sides. And next step is going to be taking some modeling paste and a palette knife and going to spread a nice thin layer onto this board. The idea is I am just going to be creating some texture. And I first need to get a little bit of modeling paste on there. And this will help with our background. I'm going to use this little tool, and I'm going to use the smallest ridges. I don't know what this tool is called, but you can find it online or in a hobby store. And I'm just going to make a design. And then I'll show you what I'll do next. After I've done that, I'm going to take my palette knife and do a technique called knockdown. This is not my life's profession, so it is not very good. But the idea is to just kind of knock down those ridges. So there'll be some high points and some low points. And those lower points, the paint will gather in there and give us dimension. Once you have the design you like, then leave it alone and let it dry. Here's our dried board, all taped up and ready for some paint. And these are the paint colors I'm going to be using today. So the way I'm going to paint this is I put a little bit of paint in a little dish and then added a lot of water to water it down using a pipette to spread it. And this has to be one of my very favorite ways to paint. It's very random, and I love to layer paint like this to create all sorts of different colors and dimensions. I'm going to be quiet so you can enjoy the process. Here's the final product for our background. Still a little wet, but I just wanted to show you. Look how pretty that is. Soft colors, just because we added some white in there, a little ethereal, very abstract, and perfect for this piece. Now I like to make my own crushed glass, so these are the glass pieces we'll be using today. And I found them at Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Hobby Lobby. And yes, we are going to smash them. Now, this is how I do it. I put my glass in a Ziploc bag for safety reasons, and also wearing safety glasses if you don't wear glasses already. And I will also warn you that if your glass is too thick and you end up trying to smash the bejeebers out of it, you may damage the table underneath, because I've done that. So that's my warning to you. Do it somewhere in a workspace or outside, preferably. maybe on the concrete. And the little shards of glass, I mean, just like the finest dust actually does come through the bag a tiniest bit where you've hit it. So be careful. Wait. Check this out. Oh my gosh, look at that perfect circle, and it's so pretty. Oh, I've got to set that aside and save it. Our glass is smashed into manageable pieces, and our board is ready to go. Just make sure and check the back where you want your top. And then I'm using a reference photo just to make sure I get the shape right. And then I'll go ahead and hang that up as I work. Now, these are called glass snippers, and I'm going to use these to make more manageable pieces and shapes for our mermaid tail. And I have these because I'm also a glass artist as well. Now, this next part can be the funnest part, or it can be the most frustrating part, because we are going to create the tail. And sometimes it can be challenging and long. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and cut some things out, but nothing important. So you'll still be able to watch the process. Enjoy. So you can see here, the idea is to layer the glass. And funny enough, it's kind of like a puzzle and Jenga got married and had this. And working with it is like a puzzle and Jenga, finding the right piece and not letting it fall. Well, now that we finally decided on how we wanted the tail, we need to secure all those pieces of glass. So we're going to take our resin. This is a Moss Epoxy's Tabletop Pro resin, and it's just in clear. Now, you're going to drizzle the resin over the glass. You don't want to pour it, because then if you make a pool of the resin, the glass or whatever it is will start floating away. So it's just a drizzle over the top and try to get, every piece. It also does help to soften the edges. They're not as sharp. So just drizzle until you've touched them all pretty much. And when you're done drizzling, give it a little zap with your torch to get the bubbles out. 24 hours later, our resin is dry to the touch, and it passed the spin test. Nothing flew off. So now we're going to go on to our next step. And you can see, though, how pretty the glass looks, and the edges are softened with the resin on top. I'm going to build a wave at the bottom of the tail with a pre-mixed grout that I use for my glass. I chose to use a grout product because I can build it up a little bit more than, say, a modeling paste without cracking. And it's going to give a little texture as well because this is a sanded grout, and it just add to the piece. I wanted to enhance the wave a little bit, so I'm going to water down some modeling paste and into a spreadable texture, kind of like a thick paint. And I'm gonna just put that on the wave or splash or whatever you want to call it, the water part. And it will give a little finish to the water part. So here's a tip. Don't put your paint away once you think you're done painting, because it never fails that something else needs to be painted. So we're going to take one of those paints that we used for our background, and we're going to add some water and make it real watered down so it's more of like a wash. And then I'm just going to layer these paint colors to create the water in the splash with some white. And remember, part of art is being intuitive. So paint it to however and whatever makes you happy. All right, I'm done painting that. Now I'm going to add highlights with the white to create the foamy splash. To do that, I'm going to use a really small detail brush and our white paint. Call me a kid, but I still love painting with my fingers, so I often do that to get different kinds of details and textures. So here I go, painting with my fingers again. And here's a nice detail shot of exactly what it looks like down there at the ocean level. So I got a wild hair and decided I'm going to add some bubbly beads to the splash. And I'm using a Liquitex gloss gel medium. And these little beads I found off of Amazon. And they're so teeny tiny. Look, they're so teeny tiny. But they're perfect mermaid beads. So the gel medium acts as an adhesive. So I just mixed it with the beads and then took my little toothpick and specifically put those beads where I wanted them on the splash. After the beads dried, I decided I wanted a little more shine on the little beads. So I took an OPI top coat nail polish and just gave them a little brush for some extra sparkle. Now we're ready to resin. I'm taking some of the blue I used in the background, added it to my Moss Epoxy's Tabletop Pro resin, and we're ready to go. We're only putting the resin on the background, not on the tail and not on the water or the splash, just on the background on the board. The most important thing here to remember is to get everything covered, but you don't want it super thick. So get into those nooks and crannies by the tail and by the water and get it spread out to the edges. Now, I taped off the sides of this piece, so it won't go over the side. I'll end up painting those. But just make sure you just get in the nooks and crannies. Then make sure to get it with your heat gun and your torch. I'm going to add some baubles to, oops, ta-da! I'm going to add some baubles to the background. These cute little beads and some more of those tiny little beads that I used in the splash. You just set them there, and then again, heat gun and torch. Then it's time to put it to bed. Next day, our piece is dry to the touch. And that's how it turned out, so sparkly. Now the sides, I went ahead and untaped those and just painted them with a white paint. And I love how the sun catches all the sparkles of the glass and the resin. Hey, thanks for joining me today, and I hope I inspired you to try some crushed glass art of your own. I invite you to join the Sea Rocker family. Like, share, and subscribe with your salty friends, and I truly appreciate it when you do. And don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms. And thanks for watching today. And until next time, go beach or go home.